Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has dropped below 31k again, but that is not necessarily bearish. We're going to take a look at the different scenarios in this video. Bitcoin is still holding the 30k level, but is also at the same time below a very important resistance level. So I wanted to take a look at this in this video. First of all, what I'd like to do though, I'd like to take a look at what can we expect in terms of any events or announcements this week of the financial sector. When do we have the next inflation data coming out? So maybe let's start with that, looking at the financial calendar here. And obviously yesterday was public holiday in the US, and today there are the FOMC meeting minutes. Honestly, don't expect too much of them. There's nothing that's gonna move the markets typically. I mean, they're always long awaited, I don't know, but in the last, I mean, I can't remember that they've really ever generated some significant volatility. Typically everything that has been discussed in those meetings has had an effect already. Rarely something can be found in there that hasn't already leaked. So yeah, I don't expect any major volatility due to this. Doesn't mean we couldn't get some volatility, but it will just mainly then, I guess, be because of the S&P 500 stock market generally. Volatility can be generated, especially when the stock market opens. Yeah, might not change the trend, and I would always be careful with correlations, but nevertheless, the first few hours after the New York Stock Exchange opens are volatile typically, or at least more volatile than the rest of the day. Thursday, that's tomorrow, we've got unemployment claims, job openings. So there's a little bit of employment data, job data coming in, and on Friday as well. Next week is going to be interesting because we've got inflation data again, but CPI. Now, interestingly, core PCE did spark some volatility in the market, which is something different to how it was the few months before, where they were really like non-events. So I'm looking forward to CPI. When does it come out? Here on Wednesday the 12th. Core CPI, CPI month over month and year over year. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, I guess they are the main events that we're looking forward to in terms of any major or important events, financial reports. Okay, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Idea is still that price formed a 1-2 setup of the November lows, here highlighted in green. Based on that, we're now in the third wave, and within the third wave we have highlighted here in yellow another 1-2 setup that finished on the 15th of June. That's the current expectation, and we're then moving up now in a third wave rally. Someone asked me, what is the target of this third wave rally in yellow? We can give some rough ideas where this should land. It will depend to a degree, or to a major degree, on the subdivisions of that third wave. But looking at the structure, the third wave should take us to roughly 43, 44k. Ideally higher. It's more a minimum target. But the condition, of course, is that Bitcoin is holding 26,190, because if that support level that I've called out numerous times now doesn't hold, then I have to assume that wave 2 didn't finish on the 15th of June, but in fact we will have to reset wave 2 a little lower. The yellow box down here is still relevant as support for this larger wave 2, and support is then 22k. In that case, we would have an A wave, a B wave, which is very high, and a C wave down. This is exactly what we're dealing with at the moment. It is not entirely clear. Do we have a high B wave, or is it already a wave 1? It would get much clearer if Bitcoin was going to produce one more high, as I'd like to see it, into the low 32k region, or the area around 32k. So let's take a look at that on the 4-hour chart. The idea here is that of the 15th of June low, price did move up in a 1, came down in a wave 2, moved up in a wave 3, bottomed in a wave 4 here on the 30th of June, and is now moving up in a fifth wave of wave 1. And that would be the wave 1 of yellow wave 3. But we need 5, well, I'd like to see 5 waves, because it gives you a very clear 5-wave structure and would make the B wave less likely. However, if we come down now without making one more high, it certainly still keeps the prospects of a high B wave, yeah, quite in the focus, okay? It's nothing though that I'm primarily looking for, because the movement to the upside has certainly impulsive characteristics. Now, if we now look at the idea that Bitcoin isn't going to get one more high here, then it wouldn't be a disaster, because I can count in the alternative count here wave 4 and 5 already complete, and we're now coming down in a wave 2 as a flat pattern. But again, here it doesn't make a great difference anyway, because if we get one more high or not, to be honest, the idea is that even if we get one more high, primarily it might only reach sort of 32k. So there isn't much more in this. You know, there might be another 4 to 5%. Of course, it can always escalate higher, but that's nothing that I'm primarily looking for. Yeah, so at the moment, still a possible additional high coming. Again, I'm looking for it, and I shared with you yesterday the orange support area that if Bitcoin can hold it, allows it still to go higher. But again, this is really just to show you the fibs. It's not a reliable setup, so I take it out again. And Bitcoin is fighting with the trend line here at the moment. And yeah, I think we just need a bit of patience now to see, can it push higher. At the moment, I would still think it's possible and likely that we get one more high, but absolutely not a must. And if it comes down now, I'm looking for a wave 2 pullback. Bear in mind that Ethereum fulfilled its primary expectation already, made that one more high. It's just Bitcoin lagging behind a little bit here at the moment. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.